Pre-coalition talks on Monday. The religious UTJ party and the right-wing Yamina alliance, as promised, are recommending Netanyahu to be prime minister. On the left, though, the Labor Gesher and Democratic camps are both backing Gantz.
Yeah, but with the joint list divided and Lieberman abstaining, Netanyahu indeed has a slim majority of support with 55 on the right to left's 54. So who knows what President Rivlin will decide. Here to help discuss the options, we have Dr. Marc Schulman, the founder and executive director of the Israel Institute for Strategic Studies, and Marc Schulman, columnist for Newsweek and editor of HistoryCentral.com.
So let's talk about the numbers. We're seeing what the numbers now, the way that they are. Who do you think has the best chance of forming a coalition here?
Yeah, that's a big question.
Yeah.
Best call, I mean, no one on everybody. That's the reality.
Right.
At the moment, I would say a slight edge still stands with Gantz to be able to form the coalition. He still has more supporters than, including
the anti-Zionist parties.
Including whoever it is. He has more supporters. It's not relevant who they are. He has more supporters. Now, the reality of the situation is it's difficult. The bottom problem is Prime Minister Netanyahu. If Prime Minister Netanyahu would move aside, there'd be a coalition in about 30 seconds. The reality is that Gantz ran on the concept that he will not sit with someone under indictment. Now, we could come to an agreement with that Netanyahu would serve until he's indicted, if he's indicted, and he would resign once indicted. We're talking about a period of 6 weeks at the maximum for a decision to be made. So that seems a little bit hard to see that happening. There's been talk all along about the possibility of Netanyahu taking a plea deal and agreeing to
with everyone except Netanyahu. But when you say Gantz can put together a government, Gantz can't put together a government because he needs the Arabs and Lieberman. And Lieberman won't sit with the Arabs. He's got no chance of putting.
Well, first of all, he wouldn't put the Arabs would be on the outside. Number one, if they
but then
did.
But then he hasn't got a majority.
He hasn't. No, they can support on the outside. We've had those situations in the past.
I rest my case.
No, you don't have to rest your case.
Listen, are you listening to what you're saying? You're saying a party headed by 3 former chiefs of staff is going to rest on the support of an anti-Zionist faction.
Just long enough for Likud to get rid of Netanyahu. That's the reality. The fact of the matter is they're sticking to him like glue, which is quite impressive. They're holding on to him. But the reality is he lost 2 elections in a row. In any other place in the world, his party would come and say, "Time for you to move on."
So, Martin, why do you say that he did not?
Well, he didn't lose because he wasn't voted out of power. If he lost, he would have been out of power. He's still in power, and as Aaron pointed out, he still has the highest number of recommendations to the president. So I think one of the things is you're going to see Lieberman under tremendous pressure from right-wing sources to give up his aloof stand and join the coalition, because
he will never join the coalition with the religious.
But
his whole point
his last 20 years is strewn with deals with the religious.
But at this point, he could have done this last time. He didn't do it last time. He's not going to do it this time. The reality is he bet his whole career on the fact that he would make changes in terms of religion and state in this country.
The amazing thing in this election is that the party that precipitated these elections and should have been punished by the electorate has been rewarded. I don't think that's going to happen again, because I think if Lieberman once again prevents a right-wing coalition coming together, his voters are going to leave him in droves.
It's very simple. It's very simple. All he wants is a coalition between Likud and blue and white.
That's secular.
That's secular. That's all he's asking. Now, Netanyahu is insisting that he has to come with his whole crew of religious parties because he has made an agreement with them that seems to be an agreement that goes all the way back to 1982 when the Haredi Ashkenazim joined the Begin government.
All right, well, so I want to ask something, kind of take this in a different direction. Something that we've never seen before is the possibility of the Arab parties as lead of the opposition. Do you think that that's
not going to happen, because the reality is that even though they're the largest group, you have to be voted to be the head of the opposition. So they will never be depending on who's left, obviously, in the opposition. If there's no one left in the opposition, a broad coalition of everybody but the Arabs, then they'll be the head of the opposition.
Well, Martin, my question now for you is, and if you could just give us one quick answer here, who do you predict that Rivlin will choose? Who will he give the mandate to?
I don't really have a good sense of who he'll choose. I think the logical choice would be Netanyahu, because he has the highest number of recommendations, and I think he's got a much better chance with Gantz. We talked about the opposition.
Yeah, well,
how is the head of the opposition going to be briefed on sensitive intelligence issues?
I repeat, he won't be the head of the opposition because the reality is there has to be voters.
I rest my
All
case.
right. Well, on that note, again, another interview with no answer.
Isn't
Hopefully
Israeli
we'll have you
politics
guys
fun?
back in this week. So much fun.